I am the first to admit the Makeup Revolution releases their collabs way too close together. But this looks bomb. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title, today I am testing another Makeup Revolution collab. Now they actually sent me this, but I also bought it. Let me show you to prove my story. Here's one, here's another. I bought them. I didn't think they were going to send me this because usually when I get sent the what's it called, the collaborations, it's because that influencer like wants them to send it to me, and I've never had any contact with Rachel Leary. So yeah, we're going to be playing with this one today, the bigger one. This is the Ultimate Goddess Face and Shadow Palette. I think this was £15 on Superdrug. Pretty good price. My face there was because I paid next day delivery for it, which was £5.50. And I got it that same day that I bought this. Anyway, so it looks like this. I have to say this packaging is absolutely beautiful. Like, I love the box and I love this. I love the color. I think it's gorgeous. I love the gold. And then you will have seen it already, but I've not even touched it or swatched it yet. This is what the inside looks like. Just like that. So you get 4, 8, 12, 16 eyeshadows, and then you get 9 face products. So I thought we would first of all swatch it all, and then we'll play with it on my face, and then I thought I might compare it to the Soft as Nails Extra Spice palette, because in my opinion, just from looking at this palette and what I've discussed with a few people over Instagram DMs, is that if this aqua shade was changed for a silver, this would be the Soft palette, pretty much. Obviously, I already have my foundation and concealer and powder and cream contour on, but my eyelids are still a little bit wet. I'll add a bit more concealer so that I give it a really good test. But first of all, let's swatch the palette and see what the swatches look like. So I'll just start off swatching the eyeshadows, and I'll just doing me and Adam. Oh, ow. Hurt my back. So this is the first shade. This is called Pina Colada, which is, I think, like a white, like a creamish white matte. Then we've got Passion Fruit Martini, Oh Honey, 666, hate that name, grew up with a minister for a father. Tantastic, Baby Girl, Fine Wine, wine spelt like you're a whiny poo face, not like wine. 70%. And now we're moving into the shimmers. So all the rest are shimmers. So it's 8 mattes, 8 shimmers. This is called Glossy. You see that? It's like a pinky champagne. That's actually really pretty. Drippin', Twerk, October, Paradise. That October shade swatched nicely, that's for sure. Cash, Kisses, and Boy Bye. There we go. I'll try and get out of frame. That is all the swatches there. So I didn't really try and build them up or make them look particularly good. I did build up the white one a pinch. I think that's the only one I swatched twice. So I mean, it's kind of as expected from Makeup Revolution. The shimmers are pretty impressive. The aqua doesn't look that good, but the rest of them look pretty good. And then the mattes are just mattes. I mean, sometimes mattes swatch pants. I don't think the Soft palette swatched particularly well. So it's all going to be about what it's like on the papers. Let me just get these off and then we'll swatch the face products. Okay, so I'm just going to go row by row. So the top 3 are bronzers / there's a really deep shimmery bronzer, which would be a highlight for deeper skin tones. So this one is called Blonde. This is the first bronzer. I think that's gonna have to be the one I use. Then we've got Bronze Glow. Wow. And Indulge. If you have a really deep skin tone, that's going to be a gorgeous highlight on you. Wow. Okay, so the next row is blushes, and it looks like 2 shimmery blushes, 1 matte. So we've got Perfect Peach, which is a shimmery blush, almost a highlight to be honest. Then we've got Rosé, which I think should be called Perfect Peach because that is entirely peach. And then Caroline, which is another shimmery blush. And then we're moving up the highlights now. So the first one is Glazed. We've got Glazed, which is one I'll use. Ooh, Ultimate Goddess, which I could never ever wear. And then we've got Aphrodite, which is probably again too dark for me. There's the 3 bronzers, the 3 blushes, and then the 3 highlights. Don't know if you can see that pale white one. I was worried it was just like ghostly white, but it's got like a really lovely gold shift in it. So yeah, I mean that's quite a lot of bang for your buck really, even though realistically out of those 9 shades I could only use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which isn't so bad going, but yeah, if you had a medium skin tone you could probably use 7. So I think that's just about enough fanning around for me. I'm just gonna put a little bit more concealer on my eyelids because I did actually use a really matte foundation and oh, it's kind of set on my eyes, so. So much better. Canvas. Okay then. So what will we do? I've got literally no idea. I'm gonna pick up 70%, which is this brown one here. Pop that on my outer corners. Maybe I'll do a brown smoky eye. Do it with my eyes wide open first so that it's above my crease. I'll just pack up my outer corner as well. She's got pigment. Admittedly, again, I don't actually watch Rachel Leary on YouTube or follow her at all, but I know that she always does like really bronzy, smoky eyes, which a lot of people do. That's really nicely pigmented. That's a really nice shade for a deep chocolate brune. I had to go away for a minute there and tell Hamish to turn down the video of Beyonce that he was watching. Married life. I'm just gonna blend out this first shade just with a clean brush. By the way, if I didn't show you, this palette has a fantastic big mirror. Not that I would necessarily travel with a palette this size, but you could. It's blending it out nicely, and I've not actually got too much fallout. I've got a couple of specks, but that's alright. I'm gonna blend that out with the shade Tantastic, if I ever picked the right brush. This is a blank canvas E10 brush. Let's see what this is like. It's not the most pigmented shade. I've now dipped into the pan 4 times, but it is, you know, you can see it, and it is blending out the edges of this deeper brown really nicely. It just needs built up a little bit, but again, with Makeup Revolution's price point, you expect to have to put in a little bit more work to get your kind of dramatic looks, I feel. And I'm pretty sure I say the same thing when I use like this Soph palette, which I really, really love. The Extra Spice especially. I'm actually going to take that same brush and dip into Indulge, the deepest shade in the bronzer. and go between those two shades because I feel like I need something between them to help it blend a bit better. I just think everything's going better on this side than on this side for some reason. I just like this side more. It seems more blended than the other side. I'm going to take a Zoeva 228 and dip into Passion Fruit Martini, the light peach. It's got a lot of kick up in the pan. It's quite a pastel-y shade, so I feel like it is covering up a little bit what I've already done, but I can just re-intensify my outer corner. No problem really. But that is actually a really, really pretty shade of peach, and it blends out that lighter brown Tantastic really nicely. That's a nice shade, nicely pigmented, no problems really. Gonna take this nameless Jessup brush. It's not nameless, it's the 228 Luxe Crease, which was what that was. Oh, okay, dupe. And I'm gonna take Oh Honey, which is the yellow. There is so much kick up in this pan. Gonna take my Morphe M573 and dip back into 70%, which is that deep brown, and just mix it a little bit with Indulge, which is that deep bronzer, and just go back in my crease because the peach and the yellow has just kind of gotten rid of any of that medium shades that I've got going on. No fallout really still, which is good. I still have no idea what I'm doing like on my inner part of my eye, which is why I'm just faffing with this blending for so long, so I'm like, think of something. I mean, there's a lot of options obviously, but do I want to do aqua or do I want to do a bronze smoky eye, which I never ever do, so it's not like I can be accused of doing that a lot. I don't mind how this looks, but I do feel like I am missing a more pigmented shade like this Tantastic, so I'm going to go back into it, but I really feel like I wish it was a bit more caramelly and brown because I'm struggling to blend out this deeper brown with it. Let's see now. Okay, it's actually not so bad now that I've got, I think because I mixed the bronzer with the deep brown, it's not so hard to blend out. I wonder what collab we'll see released next week. Wouldn't mind a Soap Palette Part 3. Okay, I'm just going to go in one last time with the yellow Oh Honey, which is just absolutely everywhere all over this palette because it has so much kick up. And then that's me done with this blending because I've been doing it for about 40 minutes. So the shadows are performing really nicely so far. You can see they're pigmented. This eye look could go anywhere. I'm pleased with it. The yellow isn't like a bright yellow, it's more like a mustardy yellow on me anyway. Not complaining about that, I'm just pointing it out. Yeah, right, let's move on to the front portion. What will we do? I still don't know. I'm currently trying to convince Hamish to give me £250 so I can go to the Jeffree Star and Mitchell Masterclass in Glasgow. Anyway, VIP's already sold out, but I don't think I'll be able to go. Anyway, shade Drippin' next. We're gonna try her dry first. Because most of my eyelids kind of got powder on it, so I'm just gonna put this at the very front. That's pretty. Even dry, that's pretty. That is gorgeous. I'm kind of doing like a cut crease, but not like a properly defined cut crease. So I'm taking it above my crease. But I'm just gonna like diffuse it. Yeah, it's a really beautiful shade actually. It's just like gold, like a bronzy gold. Let's just try it wet just for fun. So I'm just gonna pick it up on my brush, and this is the Diego Dalla Palma setting spray. Super fine mist, just because I used it to wet my contour brush. Foils it a little bit more, but nothing drastic. So that is the shade Drippin'. I think I'm going to take the shade October now, this other bronze, because it's going to go nicer into the deep brown on my outer corner. It's a really pretty shade as well. Just a lot more bronzy than that first one that we used. And then I'm going to take quite a fine little brush, and I'm gonna dip into the highlighter called Ultimate Goddess. This could be a mistake. I'm gonna take that along the front. Just to help blend out that gold into the kind of yellow and peaches that I've got going on at the front. It's not a mistake anyway, so that's a good thing. I'm quickly going to throw on a thin to thick wing, not a wing though, just liner, and then I think I'm going to try something, so give me 1 second. Okay, so now I've got that black eyeliner on. I'm going to take a really little angled brush. This is the Black Canvas E81. So I'm picking up the shade Paradise because I want something to really contrast with just the, I would say, kind of fairly boring lid that's going on. I know it's fine, it's just, to me, it's not like that exciting. I'm just going to wet this with this spray that honestly has the most beautiful spray, and I'm going to layer it over that liner. I don't know if you can even see that. It is there, it's going on. This shade does seem like a lot harder pressed than the other metallics, so it could just be that. I'll show you up close in a minute. It does look nice. It just doesn't look that metallic. It's a lot more green as well than I kind of thought it would be. It's nice, it's there. But maybe I should have done thicker liner. That's alright. Got a bit of fallout, not too much though. And I'm obviously just going to do the same thing to the other eye. It's taking everything in my willpower not to put glitter on top of this. I will say, I'm actually really pleased with the colour of this because contrasting to the golds above it. This green is beautiful and it's really complementary as well. I really like it. I think I just should have done like a thicker line, but there we go, not too bad. So we'll do a brownie purpley pink lower lash line. So I'm just gonna grab another angled brush. I'm gonna dip into 70%, which is the deep brown, and run that all the way along the lower lash line. Okay, now I'm going in with Fine Wine, which is a purple. This one didn't swatch very nicely, but I imagine it'll probably go on the eye quite nice. Yeah, that's applying really nicely pigmented. And this is like, my under eyes are set, so there's no tackiness or anything for it to stick to, and it's sticking really well. Then on a fluffier, kind of less dense pencil brush, I'm going in with the shade Baby Girl. And I'm gonna just run that along the bottom, just to blend out Fine Wine, but also try not to make myself look too sick. Did I not do a pink lower lash line for Carmi's palette? Oops. I did chat quite a lot with people on like Instagram DMs, and someone was just saying, you know, they're just, it's not unique anymore. Like, all the kind of palettes could be the same thing, and it's just all different packaging with a couple of different like bold pops of color to make it look like they're not the same. And I kind of agree with that, to be honest. But at the same time, on the same token, everything's kind of been done already. Okay, my body's about to die. Let's throw on the inner corner. I'm gonna grab Ultimate Goddess, the gold. I want like a really, really bright inner corner. Like, I want this to be outrageous. So I'm gonna wet it, which I quite often do with inner corner highlights. Yeah, I like that for the inner corner a lot. Give it to me, baby. Look how intense that is. Yes. Okay, I'm going to throw on a pair of lashes and then some black inner waterline, and then we'll move on to the like face products. Okay, so I've put my lashes on, pretty dramatic ones, so you can't really see the green anymore. Helpful. So now I'm going to move on to bronzer. I'm going to use Blonde, because the other one just will not work for me. Just going to tap off the excess because there's actually quite a lot of powder sitting at the top. I have contoured a tiny bit, so let's see what happens. That's really nice. That's really nice. It's very pigmented, so I've just been tapping it off on the back of my hand. That's a really nice shade. I used a foundation today that pretty much exactly matches my skin tone. It's my Kat Von D, I think, light 44 neutral. And it pretty much matches me exactly. So this suits me on my palest day. It is really pigmented. I think I might put a pinch too much on my forehead as I add a little bit more. But it's to even it out. I will just take it a little bit inside of my neck. Yeah, I like that colour a lot. That's really nice. The darker one I could not wear. This one is lovely. It's not like as nice as my Benefit Hoola Light. You know, I'm not going that far, but Makeup Revolution know how to make face powders. They just do. And they do it well, so that's nice. It's really warmed me up. I like it. So we'll put our highlight on now. I'm going to use the shade Glazed, which is this one, because the other two are too dark for me. I can just tell you that for free. Picks up nicely on the brush. That's so beautiful. It is so gold. I don't know if you're seeing how gold it is. It is like almost yellow gold. That is blinding. Thoroughly blinding. Just like the one I used on my inner corner. However, cast. Serious cast left on my face. But the other two shades just won't possibly work for me. They're just way too dark. It's really frustrating that it's left me with a cast, because it just means the highlighters in this palette are just not for my skin tone, unfortunately. So yeah, it's absolutely blinding. From the side, I think beautiful, but leaves me major casto, which I'm not that happy about, because it means I can't use it. For blush, I'm gonna use Rosé, this one in the middle, and it looks pretty pigmented, so I'm gonna take most of it off in the back of my hand. That is such a pretty colour. It's like a peachy coral. Let's go vagina. I'm just trying to kind of go over my highlight a little bit with it, just to see if I can get rid of that cast a pinch. Put it on the chin. I think that's it. I'm gonna go through on a lip, and then I will give you my final rundown on what I think of this. Give me a moment. Before I go, guess what score out of 10 I will give it in the comments. Okay, my lovely friends, I just put on this Technic matte lip colour in the shade Queen. It's beautiful, and it just matches my lower lash line. I thought that's why I put it on. It's also inexpensive. Blah 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 blah. I need a new hot water bottle. Getting to that point. So this, of course, is the final look. Face, cheeks, eyes. Hopefully you're seeing this a bit closer in detail, especially the eyes. That is kind of the main focus. But then the cheeks are too, aren't they? They are too. They're a big part of this palette. Half the palette, in fact. I'm just yammering on so that there's talking behind me posing awkwardly, because I absolutely hate the posing phase of YouTube makeup videos. It is really awkward, and usually Hamish walks in when I'm doing it and I pretend that I'm doing something else. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now about that. So, my overall thoughts on the palette. I'm gonna give this palette a score of 7.5 out of 10. Did you guess that correctly? I just came up with it on the spot. 7.5 because I really like that half of the palette is face and half is eyes. This, to be honest, would be the kind of layout I would love to do if I ever did a palette, because it's so multifunctional. I love being able to use one palette to do so many different things. I bought a Cover FX palette really recently because it has so many different products in it. So in terms of the face products, There is a pretty deep bronzer and a pretty light one, and then also a shimmery one that could also be a highlight on deeper skin tones. Same with the blushes, I think they would work on most skin tones, and some of the highlights, the shimmery ones would be good as highlights on medium to deeper skin tones. And then the highlights, for me, are beautiful to look at. They swatch really, really nicely. Maybe looking at that last one, actually, that shade there, what's that called? Aphrodite, maybe that would have been okay on me. I can test that out on a different day. This golden definitely would never work for me as a highlight, and this one just gives a really bad cast. I think you can even see it just there. Which is a shame, but these things happen, you know. Even with Ofra highlights, I really struggle to find the one that doesn't have a cast. Now, in terms of the eyeshadows, quality is fine for Makeup Revolution. I find it very fine. It's a good quality. I've got no complaints, really, to be honest. Let me just get my Soap Extra Spice palette. Where are you living, my angel? She's here. So I just think that the tones in the Rachel Leary palette are so similar to the Soap Extra Spice. Obviously there's shades in the Rachel one that isn't in this one, vice versa. But I really honestly feel like if you switched out the teal, the green, for the silver in the Soap palette, they would be so similar that you could never possibly need both of them. And I would say that now, having tested the Rachel one against having used this many times, I think the Soap Extra Spice is better quality overall than the Rachel Leary one. I also personally, as a person that doesn't really like warm tones or doesn't really like natural looks, I find this palette more appealing than the Rachel Leary one. Like, they've both got a metallic green. For example, that's the Soap one, that's the Rachel Leary one. I actually kind of prefer the Rachel Leary shade. They both have the kind of peachy transition shades. I just dunked that palette right in, so they've both got peachy transitions. I'm gonna need to use this hand. They both have yellow, so you can probably see there the Rachel Leary one is more mustardy than like I said, because I know all things. And then they both have these kind of metallic, deep, warm reds. That's the Rachel Leary one, that's the Soap one, which in my opinion is more beautiful, but again, just depends what you like, I guess. But I will say, overall, I do think this is a good palette. It's definitely something I will reach for again. It fits in my collection really well because it's £15, but you get 9 face products and 4, 8, 12, 16? Yeah, 16 eyeshadows. So I will use this again, and I do want to, because I do feel like the look I've done is really boring, but I just wanted to get a feel for the quality of this. Going back to a point that we do talk about quite a lot on this channel, especially as of late, I do think that Makeup Revolution release too many collabs close together. I think the amount of collabs that they do is fine, but I think the amount of time each individual influencer gets before another one is released is far too short, and I think people are starting to get a little bit frustrated about it, especially quite a lot of you guys that watch my videos, because we discuss that in the comments or on Instagram. So I do think that, but I do think this is a good palette, and for £15, if this tickles your pickle, then pick it up, because it is not bad. It's good. It's a good palette. I really enjoy that light bronzer. I want to try that other highlight shade. The blushes are beautiful and the shadows performed really well. So overall, 7.5, maybe reaching almost 8 out of 10. Probably 8 out of 10 if the highlight hadn't given me a cast. So on that extremely long outro note, I'm gonna go because I'm boring myself with the sound of my own voice. Let me know your thoughts on this palette down below. Are you gonna buy it? Are you not? What's your reasons? Tell me now, it's the law. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you found it informative. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up, because it really helps me out. Also, leave me a comment down below, because I reply to all of my comments, and please subscribe, because that's just a nice thing to do. Thank you for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.